Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another action figure review on my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the not Playmates Classics line Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you heard me right. These are not the Playmates Classic line Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I just got these from Amazon. I got a really good deal on them. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Knockoff, bootleg. And yeah, pretty much. But that's something that I have mixed feelings about. You know, I got all four of these for $35, and I like them a lot. I really do. And there are some people out there who, maybe there are parents out there who want to buy Ninja Turtles toys for their kids, and they just can't afford the new higher priced ones. And maybe they just want to know if these ones fit in. And even for collectors, even for collectors that also can't afford those, like me, maybe they just want some cool turtles to go under their shelf. But there's also the other side of it, did thieves make these? Are they illegal? Everything that comes with bootleg, knockoff, all that. And this is as far as I'm going to address that, because it's not my job to tell you whether or not to get these, whether or not to, reconsider your purchase because they may or may not be bootleg or knockoff. It's my job to tell you if they're good figures or not. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm going to tell you what I dislike. It's going to be a review, as usual. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So, yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so this is going to be my very first Ninja Turtles review on this channel. A lot of y'all probably don't know this, but I am a big shell head. And I do have a pretty big collection that I plan on reviewing at some point. For, like the one person that's going to watch this review. But anyways, that's not the point. One thing that I do want to ask you is, if you do watch this, will you please leave a comment down below. Let me know what I can improve on. Let me know what figures you'd like to see me review, and let me know what you think about these, because I know it's kind of a little controversial, whether or not to support bootlegs, stuff like that. But I'm not gonna let that control this video. I'm gonna try not to anyway. I might have some things to say on it. But anyways, here we have our classic looking turtles out and ready to be reviewed. I think they're looking pretty good standing here. We got the brothers. We got Donnie over here, Mikey over here, Leo, and then Raph. And we got all their accessories out here, looking pretty good. And let's take a look at them. So we will start with Donnie's. We'll go from right to left. So we'll start with Donnie's bow. And I think it looks really good. I do. You can see the wood grain, if I don't knock the camera too much. And there's all kinds of, there's the white paint around there for the wraps. I think that looks really, really nice. I like it. And you can see on the end, if it'll focus, it's just a plain tip. Same on the other side. You can see where the plastic cuts. Yeah, I really like the wood grain. I dig it a lot. I think it looks really good. You can see if I stand next to, Donnie, it stands about that high next to him, which is alright. I mean, it's pretty good compared to a lot of Ninja Turtles figures, but, it's, an actual bow is supposed to be about 6 inches taller than you. Well, 6 inches shorter to you, 6 inches shorter than you, to 6 inches taller than you. Does that make sense? You get it. Between 6 inches shorter than you and 6 inches taller than you. Okay, that was a little much talking about that. Next we'll move on to Mikey's Chucks. I think they look good. There's a real metal chain there. It looks like something you'd see on a keychain, but I like it a lot. You know, you can swing them around if you want to. You got that nice orange paint over the gray. I do think it looks good. I like these a lot. I do. And it's it's kind of like it's kind of like a Cuban link type chain almost, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, looks really good. Yeah, I like these, and he comes with 2 pairs, as he should, and they're identical, his nunchaku. And we have Leo's katanas, looking very nice. Well, I mean, nice enough. You got the blue paint over here, looking good. You got a little bit of extra plastic on the edge right there. That occurs a lot with these. There's a little bit of extra plastic in some areas, but yeah. And these 2 are the same. So you got a line that goes down through there, the blade. One thing that I must say is Leo's katanas, Donnie's bow especially, and one of Raph's sai, they were all very, very, very warped. And you can see Leo's katana right here. They're still a little bit warped, but I heated them up, straightened them out a little bit. They're better than they were, but yeah, they came in the packaging really warped, which, by the way, the packaging was just a clear plastic bag. Anyway, don't judge. These figures are cool. We're getting into the review. Here's Raph's sai right here. They look good. Nothing special going on. It's awesome. They look good. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And here we'll go into storing them. They both can store on, oh my gosh, I'm just hitting the camera all over the place, aren't I? Yeah, they'll store right there in the front of the belt, just like that. And you can get them to hold it in all sorts of ways. You can get them this signature Raphael thing that you would never do in real life. You can get them to hold it straight if you push down a little bit. You know, you can shake it around, it's not going to do that. Same goes with upside down. And you can even get it turned this way in between the fingers like that. And I think that looks great as well. So that does it for Raph's sai. Set him aside. And for Leo's katanas, as if you watch my Venom Pool review, you're gonna know this made me really happy. They will go in only one way. They go in, boom, with the edge facing up, as it should be with all katanas. That is accurate, and that's how it works. With other Leo figures, obviously it doesn't do that. Or, well, you know, some of them obviously don't do that. And in case you're wondering, no, they will not go in this way. They won't. And that makes me very happy. I like it a lot. So, put Leo back over here. And, oh, by the way, he can hold his swords, you know, regular or upside down. We'll get into that. I'll show you later on, but I imagine that you're smart enough to put it together on your own. So for Mikey's Chucks, you know, you got this back thing. They just slide in just like that. Boom. And boom. And they're going to stay there really well. And you could even, if you really want to, I think he did this some in the original cartoon, you can put them up like so. And they're going to fall out. And you can get some pretty cool poses with those chain nunchucks. You can get him holding them in a few different ways. And finally, for Donnie's bow, it's just bow, okay? It's just bow. It's not bow staff. Bow staff is staff, staff. If you translate bow staff, it's staff, staff. And that sounds ridiculous, but his bow goes straight down in there. It's secure, you know, secure enough. It works good. And he will hold it in his hand, same way the other turtles will, just like that. And you can get it across both ways. I thought it was most important to show how Raph can hold his sai, because I like figures, or I like Raph figures that can hold his sai in different ways, because there are a lot of different ways he can hold sai. Anyways, by the way, this is probably going to be, yeah, I'm already pushing 10 minutes and I'm still on the accessories, but this is probably going to be a pretty long review. They each come with these big, nice bases. I know, the Playmates Classics came with these bases too, but come on, just be nice. See, this is Donnie's. You can see his name printed on there, a little bit rubbing off, but it's not as bad as some of the others. Mikey's is probably the best, right here. Michelangelo, looking good. Leo's is the absolute worst. You cannot even read that. That is just tragic. That bothers me quite a bit. And here's Raph's. And this particular one is kind of bent sideways a little bit, and it bugs me a tiny bit. It sits okay, but it's not completely flat. Well, there we have it for the accessories. Now, which turtle do you want to take a look at first? I'm just kidding, you obviously can't answer. So, how about this? We'll do my favorite turtle last. And you can try. And here we are, starting with our Donnie. Now, real quick, this does not mean Donnie is my least favorite turtle. I love them all, but there is one that's actually going to be a pretty hard decision within itself. But there is one that I like better than the other four, or other three. So, anyways, one thing that I really like about all four of these is that they all get different head sculpts. It's not just the same figure over and over again. There are some reused pieces, but they get different head sculpts. So we get his signature light purple bandana, looking really good there. You can see those eyes. They look pretty good. I mean, they're sort of looking in the same direction, if that makes them good. We got his teeth sticking out on one side, very reminiscent of the originals, you know. A little extra plastic on the side right here. That's on quite a few of them, like on the cheek specifically. And we got his bandana that wraps around here. We got the knot up here. I think it looks good. And his tassels right here. And like I said, they all have different head sculpts. And I'll, you know, maybe compare them later on. But moving on to the rest of them, he's got his strap. It looks good. One thing that sucks about Leo and Donnie is their diaphragm joint right here. It's so great that they have it, but this strap, it kind of pulls them over to the side a little bit. You can make it to where it doesn't really do that, but you do have to play with it quite a bit. See, right now it's kind of, you know, fixed a little bit, but it pulls it to the side just a little bit like that. So that can get pretty frustrating, but it's only on Donnie and Leo, and you don't have to worry about it on the others. Here you can see his ribs. Looks like some wrinkles up there. You get a little bit of gapping under here on the legs, on the arms. Up here you can see you got the pegs, and then you have a separately molded armband and wristband, so that's nice, so you don't have to worry about bad paint apps or anything like that. You got the shell back here. It looks good. It looks a lot like the cartoon, and this strap that comes down just like that. And this strap is a very like rubber material. It's not, you know, it's very rubbery. Except for the D right here, kind of looks off, you know, the circle doesn't look great, and the D, man, they kind of missed the mark on that. I'm just now noticing that. But anyways, the black inside here, that's a harder plastic, whereas the brown around it and the silver is that rubbery that I was talking about earlier. And you can see he's doing the thing where he's kind of over to the side, which is, it's unfortunate, but it's there, so we got to deal with it. The front of the shell, very glossy, pretty hollow plastic. I mean, you know, it's to be expected. Purple knee pad right here, matches bottom of the foot. I don't know what that says. It says China on the bottom. It says little L for left and R for right, and the top of the foot. Uh-oh, looks like he's missing a little toenail paint. Donnie, your toenail paint's running off. So yeah, there's the back of the figure, looking pretty nifty, and the front of the figure. Now they all have pretty much the same articulation. I'm gonna show it off on Leo and Raph because obviously the diaphragm joint's gonna be a little different with this, but the rest of the articulation is about the same. And like I mentioned, they all have separate head sculpts. So here, I'll show you with the heads. He can look up that much. He will look down that much, and it will turn side to side, and you get little tilting. Now, on to the next one. Alright, here we are with Michelangelo. Now, Mikey, this figure itself is probably my favorite one out of the four. I don't really know why, but for some reason I gravitate towards this one. One thing that I do really like is that all four of them have their different skin tones, as they should. It looks really awesome, and I'm happy about that. So anyways, we get this head sculpt for Mikey, and he is the only one with a completely closed mouth. And I gotta be completely honest, I don't love the expression that they give Mikey. Why does Mikey have the closed mouth? This looks like a Donnie head sculpt. And Mikey should have a big grin, big smile or something. I understand they're trying to go more nostalgic with the originals, but come on. You know, you gotta know what I mean. Any whoosies, we'll get into the bandana up here. You can see it kind of looks like it's out of place. Like it doesn't sit all the way down on the nose like it should, and there's no way to move that down or anything. It's on there. And you can see the eyeballs, they definitely don't look in the same direction. It's not as noticeable whenever you're not like looking for it on the camera, but his left eye is looking way up and his right eye is looking way down. And it's kind of funny looking, but it's cool. So turn to the side, looks good from that angle, and turn to the back, he got his little tassels on his bandana right there, and not a whole lot extra going on with this figure. You can't see, one thing that bothers me is whenever, I love this diaphragm joint, I really do, but whenever you bend it all the way back, you can see the green under there. I wish that they would have painted or had that be this yellow color. I do, but it's okay. You can see the M right here, and it doesn't look as bad as the D did. Little silver rubbing off right there. That's a little unfortunate, but once again, it's harder. Once again, it's a harder plastic right here, and around it is the rubbery. And then on the back, you can see we have his chucks stored right there, and you can, like I mentioned earlier, you can get some pretty cool poses out of these. They goodness, I'm losing my voice. They are awesome. You just slip it in his hand, just like that. It looks really good. Another chucker, eh? Yeah, so it's pretty much the same thing, except different skin tone, different color, wraps and everything. And down at the feet, looks good. I like it. On to the next one. So here we are, we've narrowed it down to two. Have you guessed it? Have you guessed it yet? Which one is my favorite and which one takes second place? And second place goes to Leonardo. Well, here's the thing. I love Raphael for a few reasons. One, Sai has always been my favorite weapon. Red has always been my favorite color. And honestly, I really identify with Raph, you know? I really do. I like Raph a lot. We'll talk about Raph later on, but I do want to mention that I guess I've always identified with Raph, but I've been trying to be more like Leonardo in my recent life. Like, my 2020 resolution is to transition from being Raph, like an angry, jealous type guy, to being more like Leonardo, a good leader, good guy, and a good hero, I guess, you know? I love Leonardo. I really do. I love Leonardo, and I love this head sculpt for Leonardo. I do. Like I said earlier, I would have liked a, oh, no, I didn't say that. I said I wanted the closed mouth one for Donnie. I didn't say that for Leo, but I thought about it for Leo, but I take that back completely because, whoops, because I love this head sculpt for Leonardo. I love it. You can see we get kind of a light blue on there. Looks really good. He's got a different skin tone as well. He's also got that little extra plastic on there. There are the tassels. I love how you can see the teeth a little bit under there. On the side it's closed until it's right there. And it really just looks like a good leader pose. I mean, a good leader expression, you know what I'm saying? And with the eyes, they're kind of semi looking in the same direction for one of them. You know, it's not bad, I must say. And then getting down to the only real difference between this one and Donatello, other than the skin tone and the straps, the band. And there's this knot, and here is his L. Looks good. L for L matters. Yeah, so same thing, really. Here we get the sheaths, but we get this blue strap around here. I don't love the blue strap because, well, one, it's not even painted very well. It's really not. I mean, look at that. It's not painted very well at all. But it's good enough to put the swords into. You know, I do kind of wish I was either brown or painted well blue or painted well black. I think that would look cool. Because I'm not going to complain about more paint, but, you know, it just doesn't really work there. Yeah, so down here we have the knee pads, the elbow pads, all looking good. Once again, they're all separate pieces, so no paint, like, you know, no sloppy paint or anything. And he has the same problem Donnie has, where he wants to kind of turn sideways a little bit, but you can mess with it and get it, and make it better. I promise it's not that bad. So, yeah, let's get on to, oh, well, I guess articulation for the head, up, down, turn, all the way, you know, and it will shift side to side. I'm pretty sure it's all the same on the heads as well, but, you know, gotta be thorough. So, on to the main man himself. Now, here we are at the Raphael head sculpt, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like the angriness right there. Once again, going back to the old school classics type. He's got his lighter skin tone, as he should, just like he did in the old school classics one. He's got his bandana right here. I like the sculpt a lot. His eyes are not really looking in the same direction, but it's okay. Like I said, it's not as noticeable whenever you're not looking for it on the camera. And he's unique because his weapon storage is in the front, so you can just pull those out, put those in. I demonstrated that earlier. And the R right there, hard plastic, soft material around the rest of the belt, and the shell right here. And one thing that I must note, I'll get them back here, their left legs, this side, their left legs Every single one of them is longer than their right leg, just a little bit, and it's rough. I mean, that's a pretty big issue. Not the biggest one though. The biggest one, the absolute biggest issue, is the ankles. The ankles, I love that they have this articulation. We'll get into that, but it is so loose that if they're just standing up straight, they want to fall over super easy, and it goes all the way up, so it allows for them to fall forward all the way, and then they just fall on their face, and it's unfortunate. I mean, you know, on the shelf, they'll be, if I'm trying to get them to stand here like that for overnight, I'll wake up in the morning and they'll be, one of them will be on the ground, especially Leonardo. Leonardo's is especially bad, so that's unfortunate, but it's okay. Remember, $35 for turtles. I did the math. I think that's like $8.75 for a turtle, and these are pretty big too. I mean, here, it's about time for sizes anyway, but that was a good look at Raph. His head, up, down, side, side, and boom, boom. Here, let's go ahead and do the articulation on Raph. Well, that was his head. Here, we'll get these out of here, because they will hinder it a little bit in the legs and the torso. But his arms, they will come forward and back, and that's it. You don't get much movement here at all, and that is a big gripe. No bicep swivel. It desperately needs either a bicep swivel or an elbow swivel, which he doesn't have. He has double jointed elbows. Been in past 90 though. I like those double jointed elbows, but he needs a bicep swivel, and he needs arms that go out further. That would be nice. Wrists do turn side to side, and they will hinge up and down like that. He's got this great diaphragm joint that will turn side to side, and it will not crunch back because it's attached to the shell up here on the top. But he will crunch forward that much. I like it, and his head can look up enough to compensate for that. So, you know, it's great that they were able to incorporate that into the turtles. We'll swivel, and it will pivot. Good. And the legs move outward that far. They will not really move forward that much because of the thing, but you can kind of mess with them and get them spread out quite a bit. And they do swivel. They will turn all the way around. Double jointed knees, bend in that far. That's pretty good. Ankles move down. They move up. All the way up. Goodness gracious. They move down that far. Up that far. And they are loose, and that's unfortunate. And there's a swivel here, and there's a little ball joint, so you can get just a tiny bit of pivot right here. But that doesn't help all that much. What does help is sometimes in poses, you can swivel this all the way around, and then you can utilize the the ankle swivel, and it will pivot a little bit for you, and you are able to pull that off pretty well. So yeah, I like the articulation for the most part on them. Oh, here we need to get Leonardo out here and do the articulation with the strap. It's not too different. He will crunch forward. He doesn't crunch back at all, but neither does the other one because of the shell. We'll rotate a little bit, although not as much this way because of the strap, and it will pivot just a tiny bit. But other than that, the articulation is exactly the same. So let's get out here for some size comparisons. So here we have our, I'm gonna call these the Amazon turtles. I'm not about to call them knockoff turtles because I like them, but we have our Amazon turtles next to the TMNT Michael Bay 2014 movie Leonardo basic figure right here. We have the original classic Raph right here, and we have the 2012 series April O'Neil right there. That is my favorite representation of the turtles. I must say. I think a lot of people will agree with me on that. And to measure the turtles, they are standing just under 7 inches. You can see that, and yep, just under 7 inches, and they are about the same height. So yeah, these guys are really cool. Knockoffs, I don't know. If you're on the fence about ordering these, I would order them. I like them a lot. I have had a lot of fun with them as a collector, and I guarantee you that kids will have quite a bit of fun with them. They feel durable if you're worried about that. Yeah, I like these guys. I have had a lot of fun with them. You can see that their left leg, all of them, is a little bit longer than the right leg. You can also see their different skin tones. We can showcase that a little bit. Yeah, it looks good. Like I said, I like these figures. There's kind of a soft spot in my head, or in my heart, for these. But they're cool. They're cool. I would recommend these to anybody who's just trying to get some turtles. You know, they're front and center in my collection. These are probably my favorite classic turtles, but I have to admit, I don't have any of the NECA ones. They're really hard to get. I just don't have any of those. Most of my collection is the Playmates turtles. Yeah. So that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. I don't know what I'll be reviewing next. Let me know what you want me to review next, if there's anything that you have in particular, and I'll see if I can get on it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have